Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It is Tuesday. It is TLC Tuesday. I am here with Kimberly. We are maybe together riding the struggle bus, but we are here. We are here for you and your TLC enjoyment. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You
I'm
just didn't
so
even
tired.
answer. You're just like staring.
I didn't even answer. I'm like, which couple are we doing first?
How was your Yellow Jackets Bonanza blowout?
It was good. It was
how long
like
was
3
it?
hours. 3 hours. A bunch of guests. We had Rebecca and Kevin from Crime Writers on, and these are their stories. And we had Amy and Amanda from the list recap, and we had Keisha, and we had Sarah from Crime Scene. So what a group. Very fun. And then I realized after I forgot all these people. Like there are other podcasters I know that watched the show, and I forgot. But Katie can't sit there that long. Katie gets so antsy. She can't.
But you also can't include every single person when it's like, if you were doing it, if you were really like dedicated, we're doing it week to week, then you could include everybody. But when you're just doing it like every other, there's no way.
No.
There's no way. I'm glad I made the cut for one episode.
Yeah. And you were invited yesterday.
Okay, well, it's okay. There's absolutely no way. But I did log on when Keisha didn't log on for our recording. I did log on to the YouTube live to see her there to say that's where she is.
I know. And you were like yelling, "You stole my guest.
You stole my guest. Give her to me." And when we got on, she was like, "Amy and Amanda talk too much. They took my slot." I was like, "There's so much to talk about."
Yeah.
How did you feel? And guys, if you haven't seen the end of Yellow Jackets, just skip this part. How did you feel about the end of it?
I was really into it. I really enjoyed it. Not as much as season 1, of course, but I thought it was wild, crazy. I'm excited for next season. Yeah, I liked it.
So when Thaisa Barry's van, she didn't report it to the authorities that she died or anything. She just like rolls her into a hole and says like, that's what we do. And then eats her heart. How did you feel about that?
That is what they did with Javi. And I think it is showing it's the person's soul, you know? So she wanted Van's soul in her and inside of her. And
all right, sure.
It's respectful.
All right. Well, we did see that on that movie. Was it A River Runs Through It? Was that the movie that the guys went off to war and the one guy like, maybe it wasn't. It was a movie. It was a war movie. Brad Pitt was in it. And they do that when somebody, I think it is A River Runs Through It because Brad Pitt
brothers. Are they brothers? That's not A River Runs Through It. That's the fly fishing one.
Right. But I feel like in that movie, Brad Pitt learns from like the Native Americans that he's around that when you kill something, no matter what
Legends
it is.
of the Fall.
Oh, yes. When you kill something,
he falls
you have to
for
eat the heart.
Lady. He falls for the indigenous lady who was like a child when he was a man.
Yeah. Yep.
And we go, it's not creepy at all because it's Brad Pitt. It's just sweet.
Well, he does that.
Thinking as a kid, that is so sweet. That's so hot. He's so hot.
Well, same thing a little bit in Interview with the Vampire, right? With Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, yeah.
Being 12 or 100, not sure. Anyway, the point of in Legends of the Fall, not a river runs through it. In Legends of the Fall, what the guy learns from his Native American friend is that when something dies, whether it's a squirrel or anything, you have to eat its heart or take a bite of its heart to honor that its death. And so he does that with, like in Vietnam, like his brother falls and dies, and he has to like every time. Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of stabbing, a lot of eating of organs.
It's a lot. You can get gout from eating a lot of organ meats,
right?
But I don't know.
Cooked or uncooked. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the heart is considered one of those. I think they mean like liver and stuff. But
either way, it was gross. And then I guess we have to assume now that mean Thaisa is back to stay, and nice Thaisa has gone bye-bye. Because then
I think the opposite. Well, we don't know.
Well, I think that we don't know, but I got the feeling that mean Thaisa, evil Thaisa is back. And because she and Misty decide they're going to try to kill Shauna because she's the bad person.
Right. But I think when she went on that Goonies quest, that the whole point of that was to bring out good Thaisa and to get rid of bad Thaisa for good.
I don't know what Goonies quest you speak of.
You need to rewatch.
She goes on a Goonies quest?
Yeah, Van, the teenage Van. It's very complicated.
Okay, just don't go. Okay, don't tell me. I'll figure it out. Well, I liked the ending. I liked the ending with Natalie on the top of the mountain. I liked it.
Yeah.
It gave me hope. It gave me hope. And I hope that will be all of season 4.
Yeah. That's one of our things that we were debating is when are they going to get rescued? Yeah.
It's got to be like a week. And also everybody's there in the snow, and Natalie goes up to a mountain and there's no snow, which made no sense because generally if it's snowing,
some snow up there.
Oh, it looked to me just like a gorgeous.
No, there was some snow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, pray for their return. We've been praying for 3 seasons. But we're not here to talk about that. And we're here to talk about 90 Day Fiance season 11, episode 9, How Deep Is Your Love? And I would sing for you guys, but the voice won't have it. And also I appreciate your ears way too much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Here's going to be the order, Kimberly, just so you know. We're going to do Shekinah and Sarper, Mark and Mina, the throuple, Greg and Joan, Stevie and Maddie, and Sean and Aaliyah. Heavy on the Mary Payne this week. All right. So that's good for you because I know you're exhausted.
Yeah. I'm just going to relax.
Just sit back.
I might take a little snooze.
Oh, please don't. I need you. Please don't. Shekinah and Sarper, we start out, and these two are going to meet Sophie, her daughter, for the first time. And Shekinah says he has one time to make a good first impression. Well, he's already made a bad first impression on her family, we know. So he's outside, and apparently he's working on his stand-up routine. He's got a new joke he's working out. I'm not going to torture you with the jokes we had to hear, okay? But it's like
understand them totally. Like
women, am I right?
Yeah. It was very much women. Am I right?
Yeah. Look
also,
at that
I didn't understand the Hannibal Lecter one at all. What was the like? Is he talking? What is this that he's talking about? This?
Oh, I think that he meant the mask. The flipping up of the mask of the Hannibal Lecter mask.
It made me think. I think I got confused because in one of the Hannibal Lecter movies, but not Silence of the Lambs, he takes a guy's scalp off and then
well, maybe that's it.
Takes the brain. But it wasn't Silence of the Lambs, which was his joke was about silence. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't know if it's translating. I find him funny sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But we know him from the show. I'm trying to imagine like a group of people at the Laugh Factory who have never seen 90 Day.
Yeah, I agree. It would be very strange. You would be like, what is this? Like Borat? Is it supposed to be funny? Is it not supposed to be funny? Is he in on the joke? Is he not in on the joke? That he's the joke, you know?
Yeah. And then it brings me back to that lady from Love After Lockup who tried stand up in her like orange jumpsuit.
Right. And she had discardamnesia, whatever the hell that was. And we couldn't figure out what kind of disorder she had, and that was a topic of conversation. So he says, I love the stage. I danced for 7 years. It was a hobby. I like the attention, and I always had a dream of being a stand-up. Talking to Shekinah is like, yeah, I don't want people to laugh at him like for the wrong reasons, because he's funny when he's not being scripted, but he's just funny naturally, not being a stand-up. Now, we do know in real time he's doing dancing, laughing exercise classes, laugh and dance.
Right.
Oh,
is that what it is?
Yeah. It's like kick to the left, kick to the right. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. That's what it is. It's dance class. That's laugh.
Okay.
Laugh dance. So,
well, and listeners that are going, so you're going to hear.
Yeah. I'm dying. I don't know if Kristen, the producer, might go. I was like, please put that $32 on my tab. Please go.
Mm-hmm.
So they head off to see Sophie, and he's bringing a blanket for Sophie. They're going whale watching. He's super nervous to meet her. And he talking head, he says, in Turkey, they have saying, they say done or none. So it's up to me. I feel so anxious. That wasn't one of the best Turkey sayings.
Done or none. I liked
he's got better
the
ones.
Chicken and the boobs and
the boobs and fuck the cock and yeah.
Yeah.
So they meet up, and she comes up, and he's like, oh, she's so pretty. You're so pretty. And she's like, thanks. Talking to Sophie says, I want to get to know him as a person, and I want to make sure like he treats my mom with respect. And I don't know, with some of the things he says, maybe that communication of some of those words is lost, but he could just use common sense. I just think specifically she's referring to when he called her a slut and a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Also, there's no better way to get to know someone than sitting on a boat that is so loud that you can't talk. And then also not going to lunch or something after.
Check with everyone that's going if they get seasick, because it's a real thing for people. Oh, so they go up to the front of the boat. Always a bad idea. It's like, and they're getting sprayed, and it seems chaotic. And they're like, we don't know, So everybody starts to get seasick. He pulls out a barf bag. He's the first one to barf. And it's funny.
People on Reddit were analyzing, was he really barfing? Like, I didn't hear a sound. I didn't see.
You couldn't have heard it.
I didn't see any mouth. The mouth gesture was not right. It's like, you guys have too much time on your hands.
And also, maybe even if he wasn't barking, he was at least dry heaving. So she's like, oh, poor baby. And Sophie goes, that's gross. And Sarper goes to Shekinah and says, hello, don't let me organize anything ever again. Also, don't mind my breath.
I did. Did you ever put gum in?
Yeah, I do think it was kind of fake, but it was funny. And he goes, let's pretend this day never happened. We start over tomorrow like we never met. Nice to meet you. They all kind of laugh about it. And in the talking head, he says, it was so terrible. From now on, when Sophie sees me, she sees whale face. She sees whale face. Okay.
I mean, it was a bad idea. It was very sweet to try, but
I've always wanted to go whale watching, and I don't get seasick on a boat like that.
I don't usually, but I did this last summer when we went whale watching. I didn't throw up, but I was so nauseous. And I got it. I finally got it. That was the first time I got seasick. It's bad. Everyone was barfing. You just looked around and it was like barf, 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 barf. Oh. And we didn't see any whales.
Damn it.
We saw like some sea lions or something.
Well, who cares? We've seen enough B-roll of sea lions.
Yeah, F you, sea lion. Where's your whale friend?
That's too bad.
Pay for a sea lion tour.
It's too bad that everybody was barfing and then you didn't even see whales.
I know. They offer you like a partial refund so you can come back again and then
barf
you
some
get
more.
5,000 emails for the next couple months. Like,
yeah.
Come back, use your thing. And I'm like, it just makes me think about barfing. So, no.
I feel like they need to get like a heavier, bigger boat that wouldn't feel the waves so much, So it would solve that problem. So now
that might scare away the whales though.
Well, that's true.
I don't know how that works.
I don't either. You guys, we don't know sea captains.
Yeah.
So they get on land and we get the Hallelujah chorus, which was kind of funny. It says, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Yeah, they're doing the Hallelujah chorus when they get on land, which was funny, which must be royalty-free music or very cheap to get. And he tells her, I'm so sorry for this day. I know first impression is super important. I know that this wasn't so great. And he says, when I met some of your family, she goes, my aunt, Shariah. He goes, yeah, when I met other members of your family, I had different mindset. At that time, I didn't care what she thought. And she was like, you didn't care what she thought? He was like, no, I just was different mindset. He's not explaining it correctly, but he's sort of like, no, I didn't give a shit.
I thought he did an okay job. I think she understood what he meant.
And so if he says, well, maybe it'll take a little time, but if you could prove yourself to my family, that would make a better impression on me. And I know you probably want me to tell you that I support it and everything, but I think I need a little time here to think about it. And he says, I will do my best with your family. You will see. It will take time. And Talking Head Sophie goes, it's good that it seems that he's changed or that he's trying to change. And maybe it'll even get better than that. And I hope he's sincere. I hope he's genuine. And he says, I have to fix that relationship with her family, and that will affect how Sophie feels. Everyone has to approve me. Everything is on me. Every day, new burden on my shoulders. Wow. So dramatic.
I know. He's
So
like,
dramatic.
I'm Sisyphus. I, Sisyphus, push rock uphill.
Don't try to make a smart reference on me. My brain is not there. Not there. Let us move on to Mark and Mina.
Oh boy. So they fly down to Florida. They're still not going back to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And to visit with some friends. And they are not going to visit with Jordan, who lives in Florida, because
she's still at
that baby
Baldhead.
to an alligator. Or she's still in Baldhead.
Yeah.
So she thinks Florida is giving Nice vibes. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
That's generous. So, I mean, they were in a nice part of Florida.
They were in West Palm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They were in a rich part. So he wants her to meet his friend Diana, who was the ex-wife to his friend Philip. But more importantly than that, Diana set him up with his ex-girlfriend Jade. Ergo, Mina hates Diana because she is responsible for Jade, who happened before Mina met her. So
yeah, this is a weird choice.
It's a very weird choice. So she's just so pissy about Diana. And I was thinking, does she really love him, or is she just a jealous person? Because she does seem to be upset about Mina and Jade. So they go to Diana's fancy clothing store, and Diana is gorgeous, whereas poor Mina is still looking so rough since she landed in the States. She looked so good in Paris, and the second she landed here,
yeah, she wasn't prepared for the humidity and what that American grease would do to her skin and her hair. She was not prepared for any of it, and she will be, because later on at the end of the episode, when we see her leave, she does look way better.
She looks incredible at the end. Yeah.
She's had a moment
but
to
right
herself.
now, humidity does not agree with her. She's no.
It's rough out there. It's rough.
It is. It's rough out there for a Parisian lady. So right away, they get to the fancy store, and Diana says, oh, did you buy her a BMW? Because apparently he bought Jordan a BMW and helped Jade get a BMW. And so again, we have another lady in Mark's life putting her foot in her mouth in front of Mina on purpose or not on purpose. But I think on purpose.
Everything Diana did was on purpose.
She's a saboteur. This is not no. And just like Jordan, who was like, oh, did you get in the prenup? Oh, I didn't mean to say anything. So he says, "What? No, I just I bought Jordan. I helped Jordan, or I got Jordan a BMW. I helped Jay get a BMW." And Mina's like, "Where's mine?" And I give you a freaking baby,
Yeah. He's like, I have a tiny airplane for you.
Yeah. And Diana says, well, you can get a Maserati. How about that? Something more expensive. She's like trying to cover her mistake, but she's not really. So Diana says, I introduced my best friend Jade, who's very young, to Mark. and they hit it off, and he bought her a BMW, but it was very quick. It all seemed like so quick to me. And I guess that's how he shows his love to people. But I think he thinks because he's old, he has to like lavish with gifts, and that is his contribution. But also, how old was Jade from these photos? Because she looks to be like 25. And I know this happened earlier. But
yeah, Diana says she was very young. And I mean, Mina's 35. So
yeah. So the baby starts crying, and Diana's like, okay, I don't need your crying, sticky child ruining the fancy vibe in my, flashy store. So why don't you take her for ice cream next door? I'll talk to Mina. I'm going to ruin this relationship real good. How long are you going to be gone? Get a double scoop so I have more time to ruin your relationship. So Diana's like, I'm so glad we're getting to meet. I had my reservations. I wasn't sure if he was ready to date, because when he met you right away, he said, you remind him of Jade. He called me and said, I met this woman that's exactly like Jade.
Terrible.
And yeah. And he moved so fast with Jade. He was devastated when they broke up. And then he went to Paris and he met you, and then called and said, I met someone just like Jade. So she's making it sound she shouldn't be telling any of this to Mina. Like,
no,
this is insane.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be telling any of this to us or to Mina.
It's really bad. Really bad.
So but part of me appreciates the girl code of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not loyal at all to Mark, who is supposed to be her friend, which I also find kind of funny. That she's supposed to be his friend, and she's totally like, he's a jerk. Get out of this, girl.
Yeah,
so
woman to woman, run.
Walk away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's telling this to Mina, and she says, if he hadn't broken up with Jade, he would have asked her to marry him. And Mina's just like, getting sweatier and sweatier, and her hair's getting like more and more poofy, and she's just like it's all that where you start to feel hot when you're hearing something that you don't like to hear, and you like actually your temperature starts rising. You're like cooking from the inside.
But it does look like that sounds like menopause, but it does look like she buys something.
Oh, for sure. At the store?
Yeah.
Oh, she buys a lot, but not yet. Yeah. So she's just like, no, I don't think she's mad at the friend. I don't think she's mad at Diana. I think she's mad at Mark.
Very mad at Mark.
Yeah. So she's like, but again, like, I don't like Mina. I can't believe we're rooting for Mina this whole season. Like, we really are. And that was very surprising. Right away, first episode, we thought we're going to hate this bitch. And
yeah. Well,
she keeps being put in these situations where these women are like embarrassing her, basically.
Yes.
Telling her horrible things.
And again, Mark, how is Mark getting all these women?
I know.
Yeah.
So Diana's like keeps talking. And I was like, why doesn't she ask her about the prenup next? Like, hey, you going to sign the prenup? Are you going to have more kids? I think I should get to control whether you have more kids or not as the store owner. Yeah. So also, this is not the way to make a big sale. Do you work on commission? So big mistake. So Mina asks, she's like, I know they broke up, Mark and Jade. Why did they break up? And she goes, oh, well, he had moved her into his Florida home because he owns a house in Florida. And Mina's like, no, he told me he never lived with Jade. And Diana's like, no, that's not true. They were dating for like a month, and he moved her and her son into his Florida house.
Uh-oh.
And Mina's like, okay, so what happened? Why did they break up? And like, he told me Jade was a brat and she didn't want to move to New Hampshire, and that's why they broke up. And Diana says, well, that was part of it, but really she found out that he was talking to other girls. She went on his computer and saw that he was talking to other girls when she was moved in with him. And Diana's like, I'm sorry, girl, but if you're going to marry him, you need to know. And then I was like, okay, she has an agenda. This is not like full on girl code. This is either her stirring shit up, the producers telling her to say stuff, or maybe a tiny bit girl code. And then Diana tells us, she's like, I thought Mina knew all this. I didn't mean to tell her anything that she didn't know. I was like, yes, you did, because she asked you, why did they break up? Which means she didn't know. And
but do we know if like Diana
shocked expressions on her face and you kept talking?
But we don't know if Diana and Jade were like friends and she's kind of doing this to avenge her friend, or if Jade just sort of worked at the shop and she's like, oh, I have a girl you could go out with.
He says like my best friend or something, but we don't know if they're still best friends. Maybe they had a falling out or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Jade is like, go and ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
Get back at me. Yeah. Avenge me.
Yes.
So Diana says, like, you think I'm done. You're listening to this right now and you're like, well, that surely is it. She couldn't say anything worse. No, she does. She says, you know, Mina, I think Jade was the one that got away.
It's terrible.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have bought one thing from her.
I know. And then she says, you know, when you guys first got together, he was still trying to win Jade back. This is just it's a horrible after horrible. It's like a punch in Mina's sweaty face over and over again. And like, it's not stopping. So Diana said, you know, I just thought this was so messed up that he was doing this and I told him, you need to make a decision between the two ladies. Like, so Mina says, for 5 years, I thought I was unique in this relationship and I was a replacement this whole time. And I'm not getting any younger. This has been 5 years of my life.
Yeah.
And we have a child together. The sweat is just pouring. And so Diana says, I think you should talk to Jade. You can get some answers. More than the devastating answers I have already given you. Maybe you want to meet her and get your heart completely shattered.
Well, it's very interesting that Mark would introduce Mina to Diana.
He opened the door to this. He really did.
If he knew that there was so much bad blood here, he would have never done that. I think he really has been fooled that Diana was his buddy and would like pump him up and talk about how great he was.
Which is like how he thought the Paris trip went really well for the baptism and everyone loved Mina and Jordan loved Mina and no one was going to say anything bad. And
you're right.
Stupid fool, Mark. You have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, if you have had lies, which apparently you told lies, then you needed to clear that up before you brought Diana into the picture by saying, I'm not saying like to lie, but if you had lied, tell Diana, maybe don't tell her.
Right.
That I was living with Jade. And
actually, just don't tell her anything about my past relationship. Just that you knew
maybe
Jade.
I just won't have her meet you. There are other stores in Florida where you can buy her clothes.
Why don't we go see Jordan? She's always nice.
Yeah. I think that barbecue went great and nobody died on the ferry. So let's do that. So Mina is again like, I gave up my life and my son and my friends and French baguettes and quote Sarper, and not to come here and get all these surprises. Like, they're not even surprises. Again, they're being like punched in the face. They're just like,
it's lies.
Those are not a surprise. Is like, happy birthday. It's just like you had a baby with a serial cheater and you
surprises. Here's a BMW. That's a surprise. Yeah.
That's a surprise. This is like you are a replacement for the woman he's still in love with.
Right.
And he's going to start making you look dressed just like her, style your hair like her and wear your clothes like her and get you plastic surgery to look just like her.
Eek.
So she's like, I can't believe I gave all this up. And he's lied to me about things. Jordan is a total snake. His house smells like old man farts. Like why it's only old people and Martini Pat back home. Like, what am I supposed to do? So she's like, let me buy some clothes and maybe I'll go buy a Mercedes too. Like, I need some shopping. So and Diana's like, yeah, let him pay. Let him pay for this in my store. So she does try on a bunch of clothes. She looks stunning. She looks banging, I guess, as the kids would say. I don't know.
Right.
She looks great. So Mark comes by and Mina is sulking and she's like, you lied to me. And and Mark goes, what did she tell you? What did she's my pal.
She's no, I didn't. It was like, wait, what did she tell you?
What did she tell you?
Confirm that I did or did not lie.
Yeah. Which lie are we talking about?
Exactly.
Which lie was revealed? So Mina says, you lived with Jade. And he says, well, I told you she lived with me when I was in Florida. And he's chuckling. Like he does that laugh when he's like nervous thing that's really, really annoying. And Mina says, Diana told me I'm a substitute for Jade. And he's like, no, you're not. That's so silly.
What a crazy thing to say. What a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, I never said you were the same as Jade. And I was like, whose memory are we supposed to believe here? Diana, who is 30, or Mark, who is 60? Unless he's having ginkgo biloba every single day, I trust the younger one, just statistically. So even though she has a full-on agenda and she could be lying about all this, but I don't think she's lying because he's not. I don't think she's lying. So he says, it was a long time ago. I'm old. I don't remember. I have a knee brace. Like I have a plane, remember? And look, I proposed to you. I never proposed to Jade. And Mina says, because you knew she never would accept. And and Mark's like, how am I always in trouble? I'm wearing a Hawaiian print shirt. I should be having fun and playing golf. And instead, I'm just constantly getting yelled at by a woman. And so we jump to her texting. We jump right ahead. She's texting Jade. She wants to meet up. And Jade says yes. And Mina dresses up fancy. She puts on makeup. She's not sweating. She looks great. I take back all the times I made fun of how she was melting. So
she hadn't walked outside yet.
She hasn't walked outside yet. They were still in the air conditioning. So she walks out and she's like, I'm going to meet Jade. And Mark's like, well, I thought you were joking. Remember how I was laughing before? I thought this was all a joke. And Mina says, I need to talk to her woman to see if she's your sex friend or what. What? And Mark's like, fine, whatever. Nobody believes me. So, and he's like playing with the baby, which was very cute. He's cute with the baby.
The baby was asleep on him. That was cute.
It was very cute. So Mina says, it seems like there are two Mark from the States and Mark in Paris and Mark Harmon from CSI and CIS, whichever show. So she's like, I don't know which Mark I am marrying and which Mark I had a baby with. So she goes to meet Jade. And she says, if Jade confirms that Mark lied to me about things, I will leave. A man lies to me once, he lies to me for life. I thought that was very good. That was like a
Turkish. It was like a Turkish thing. Right.
And then we see a close up on Jade's booty in very tight jeans walking up.
Interesting. It's interesting too. Jade had a son. She has a son. Like it does seem pretty similar.
I mean, the side by side, they do look similar. I wouldn't say they look like twins or anything, but they have the same general appearance.
Yeah, right. Like if they were far away or from behind, you wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Mark, such a player with those chipmunk cheeks. I don't get it. I don't get it.
There's like a whole thread on Reddit where people are talking like he looks like a lesbian named Brenda.
Well, we're going to see a lesbian named Brenda coming up on this season. I don't know if you saw the coming up on.
Maybe that's where people got it from.
Maybe it is.
Or maybe they didn't say Brenda and I'm just subconsciously saying Brenda because I feel like he looks like a Brenda.
Yeah. Like he just listen. I'll just listen. He needs a lower facelift. He needs to get rid of this. He needs it all cut and lifted. And
but does he? He's getting all these hot young ladies.
Well, that's true. Apparently. Yeah. All righty. Let's move on to Matt and Amani and Ani. Amini, Ani, Any, whatever.
People are going deep on the Reddit.
Okay, good.
A lot of people are saying bad things. They're saying she's a sex worker And
Well, I think we
people
already
are
knew that.
claiming they slept with her and that it's all fake. And that Amani's accent goes in and out through every scene, depending on who. It's very much like Hilaria Baldwin.
That's to say, we cover a show like that. That episode's out today too, guys. The finale of the Baldwins. So Amani and Minnie is in the bed and Ani is on the couch. Matt goes over and hugs Amani and he's like, "You want to go get breakfast?" Yes. So they ask Ani if she wants to go and she says no. And she's like, "Good. Yeah, we can have a moment to discuss her." So in the talking head, Ani says, "Amani is explosion too much and I don't need this in my life. She explodes too much." And at breakfast, he says regarding Ani, he's like, "Yeah, like I care about her, of course, but this is getting ridiculous." And she's like, "But do you want to move forward with this? Because I do want to move forward with this." And he goes, "The thing with Ani is it's drawn out honesty. It's not upfront honesty. She's not telling us the truth right away. And it's hard for me to see you crying over this situation because you are my wife." And then Talking Eddie says, "I do wonder, who are we to Ani? She won't tell anyone. She won't tell anyone about us. And all I see from her are lies. And, my wife is such a pure soul and I have to protect her."
Her?
And then they're in a talking it together. And Amani goes, "But like you love her. And like you said, you loved her." And he goes, "Maybe, but it's not like I love you. Like we've had so many years together." And she goes, "You said you loved her. Isn't that the point of this whole thing?" It's like, this is so fake and stupid. I'm so annoyed by this whole thing.
Are you just realizing now that it was lust and not love?
Right.
Also, this is the saddest that anyone has ever looked eating Mexican food. They're just like Eeyore eating Mexican food.
And at one point, they sort of zoom in on him eating and her like looking at him like, oh. So they bring Ani home some food and Ani says, "I don't like to fight. It's too much explosion. If you don't have relax, you think we could stay together? Because for you and me and the kids, we have to have a good life together. And so you need to calm down." And Amani's like, fake cries and says, "I don't want to be a secret. I'm putting my life on the line for this. And I need to be acknowledged. I need you to acknowledge me." And Ani goes, "I will tell my family. I'm going to tell them, but I need time." And he goes, "Well, how much time do you need? Because we're literally right around the corner from meeting your family. Like they literally live around the corner and we're going to see them tomorrow or whatever, however long they're going to drag these people out this season." And he says, nobody in this situation should be lying. It's making us uncomfortable that you're lying." And Talking Head, he says, we opened up our life for Ani and we need to see her sacrifice too. And if it's uncomfortable for her, then she needs to tell her family, we're doing all this stuff. And they're still trying to pretend like she's a 90-day fiance and they're going to get divorced so she can come over. None of this has been discussed. It's not true. So it's a bang trip. And Ani says, "Please, baby, we could change the mood. We fixed the problem. We fixed the problem." She hugs Amani and then Matt comes in for the hug. And Amani goes, "I just want to be sure that you're here for the right reasons," like they say on The Bachelor. And Amani says, "What'll make me feel better if I could get a quickie." Just kidding. No, I'm really not. And then they just do lots of kiss, kiss, kiss. I kiss you, you kiss me, kiss, kiss, kiss. And then we're done.
But we don't want to be sexualized as a throuple, though.
I really hate them and I wish I could just skip them, but I can't. But now that's it. We're done with them. The end. Move on to Greg and Joan, who is becoming more and more of a badass week by week. And I love it.
Joan?
Yeah, Joan. Yeah.
So she's trying to help him get in shape by making him do lunges at the park. And she's freaking out because she's gained weight already, even though she's only been in America for 11 days.
Saw that Italian cooking.
Yeah, Lucille's plan to fatten her up has worked. And Joan is like, "I want to wear a tight dress, wedding dress, even." And, even though Greg tells me the bigger the booty, the better, like this is too big of a booty. So Joan takes several seats We can see your clavicle. You're fine. So
great point.
They're doing the like laziest like lunges as they're having all these conversations. It's so funny. Or like running in place like little robots, but like not exerting at all because they're trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's me.
So she says, all my friends are in shape in Uganda. And he says, well, because you live in between two mountains and you have to go up a mountain every day to go to work. And she's like, we love it. She's like an Iron Man. Yeah. So he says, well, I'm down to come to the park and work out like a few times a week or maybe less when I'm not making bread, whatever. Or we could join a gym. And as he's like half squatting, he's like, yeah, a gym that costs anywhere from like $10 to $250 a month.
Yeah, you'll have to gym shop to find one that's right for you.
Quite a range.
Which is zero with how much money you have, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How much? What does a $250 a month gym come with? Liposuction? Like,
I don't know, but I'm sure that's probably how much they are. Like in LA, right? Expensive.
I was at one for $20. I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah,
you don't need all that fancy stuff.
No, you don't.
Join Planet Fitness. So they then start jogging in place, and he's like, it hurts that you said you wanted to leave if I don't get a job. He's acting like this is new information, even though she had, I'm sure, said that before she came anyway.
Yes.
So he says, well, I have an interview for a state job because it's only state jobs there. Like,
he's
apparently,
obsessed. Yeah.
He's obsessed with working for the state. And she's like, that's great, baby. I hope you don't screw this up. I don't believe in you at all.
No.
You fat, sweaty bread maker.
And what did he say the job was? He said what it was. And I was like, what does that mean?
Oh, like working for like an assistant in projects.
I didn't. I was like, whatever it was, it didn't sound. Does that mean trash man? Like, what was the job?
I honestly, I don't know. So she says, if you don't get a job in 2 weeks, I'm done. And he says, that's not realistic. It's going to take like a month. She's like, okay, then you have a month.
Wow.
He goes, we're dealing with New York State, like the state jobs. It could take more time. Again, there are other jobs. Are there no private companies on Long Island? You could go work for a gym. Go work for Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
It's a private company.
Go work for Panera. They make bread.
Yeah. Perfect. So he's just flabbergasted that she's giving him a deadline because you had the whole visa process before she got here, which probably took like a year, and you still didn't do it. So she's realizing you have to be treated like a toddler. Like, do this now, or you need to set clear rules and boundaries. Maybe count to 3 once in a while, or he's grounded, has to go to sit in timeout. Like, think about what you did. Yes. And that's how she's treating him. But he's brought it on himself. And Lucille has not treated him like that. And she should have when he was younger, and she created this monster.
I agree with all of those assessments.
Thank you.
That was it for them this week. They just lunched in the park.
Half lazy lunges. For the camera.
Like me. Sometimes I'll do squats, and my husband will chime in with, those really aren't very deep squats.
Oh my God.
I'm like, while my giant water bottle fills up at the water at the fridge. I squat. That's what I do. I squat.
You know when it's good to squat? When you're brushing your teeth.
Oh, okay. I'm too busy just like walking around doing stuff while I'm brushing my teeth. Okay. Well, I do it while I fill up my water, which is many times a day. And he came in the other day and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to squat when I brush my teeth, when I am filling up my water. He goes, well, you're gonna have to go deeper than that to get any effects. I go, you know what? Why are you here? Isn't your job downtown?
Yeah.
COVID.
It's your job for the state of
do you work for the
lunges,
state?
Sir?
No. Get out of here.
Are you
better myself?
Deep lunges state?
That sounds like a Katie pun.
I know.
It's worn off on you finally after all these years. Okay, let's go to Stevie and Maddie. Did everybody listen to my interview with Stevie last week?
I did, and it was delightful.
Yeah. I enjoyed her.
I thought it was so great. I really did.
I enjoyed her. She said, oh, Kimberly told me that you're really nice. And I go, Kimberly from A Date with Dayline? And she goes, no, Kimberly from 90 Day Fiance. And I was like, oh, you mean Kimberly?
Kimberly.
Kimberly. I said, oh, okay, good.
My girl.
I said, yeah, we love Kimberly. But I thought she meant you. I was like, interesting. She better have said I was nice. I'll kill her.
I mean, she did reply, ha ha, to one of my comments. So we're basically friends. Just friends.
Basically. Yes, she was very easy to talk to. Okay. I got to the bottom of the fact, where are the children?
Thank God. And I really respect that.
Me too.
I just don't think they should have mentioned them then.
Yes, but then you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If she wouldn't have mentioned kids, and they'll be like, why are you hiding your children? You know, are you a bad mom? You know, all that.
No, that's a good point. Like Lauren and Faith, that like he has those kids that they never mentioned, and Reddit found out and tore him apart. Yeah.
Right. Because he has to see his children.
But he deserves it.
He deserves it. Right. That's not the same. Stevie and Maddie. Okay. 67 days to wed. They go and meet her friends, Megan and Adam. Adam is wearing an Ole Miss shirt, and I loved it. And these friends helped her pay for her plane ticket to go see him in Turkey. Wow. They're nice friends. We meet Jeremy, the glass blower. This is my kind of hippie glass blowing dude. College town hippie. Smells like patchouli. Loved it. And
that is not my kind of.
Yeah. They do the glass blowing, and so they put the hot thing on, and he's got to actually like blow through this copper tube. And the guy makes a joke like, yeah, go ahead. You got to blow on it really hard. Oh, we cleaned it last year. Ha ha ha. And then we find out that Maddie is a germaphobe. So he didn't get that joke, and he was very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the wedding to the friends, and they were like, no, we don't know all the details yet. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, because you just have to think, you know, in the United States, people, if they're planning a wedding, they know at least 6 months to a year out every single detail. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know when we're doing it. We don't know what day it's going to be. And they're like, no, like, really? Like, you know nothing? And they're like, yeah, we don't know anything. And so in the talking head, Megan says, I do worry that Stevie won't talk about the plans. I think she's being really cagey about it. I think it's weird she won't talk about it. And I think with Stevie, a lot of what she does is like out of fear and self-preservation. So it's sort of like, if I don't talk about it, it's like jinxing it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Megan and Stevie go into the glass blowing shop. I loved looking at all that beautiful like glass with some of it has like the speckles on it. And so I was like, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah,
really,
so cool.
really cool. And she tells Megan, you know, he has said some things that have given me a little bit of doubt. And then she goes, but truth of the matter is maybe I'm the one that's uncertain. Like, what am I doing here? And she kind of cries a little bit. And Megan says, I understand that. Like, it is like kind of sudden and you don't have a lot of time to think about it. And you have to do what's best for you. Like, don't feel pressure to go into this or whatever. Now, Maddie's in there talking to Adam, which made me happy. I'm like, okay, great. Maybe this is Maddie. Maddie can have a friend, you know, a dude that's not Perry, who is tiny, but is scary. And Maddie's talking to Adam and he goes, yeah, you know, I was surprised how homesick I was. Like it did kind of like come on me like really quick. And then I voiced it. And then she was upset about that. And Adam goes, yeah, but that's okay. It's better to communicate it and say how you're feeling and not just hold it in. And Maddie says, you know, if I say something to her, like that I was feeling a little homesick or worried about it, then she fires back at me. And then I feel bad about it. Adam says, well, she's probably like super nervous about the whole situation. And she knows what you have given up to be here. But, you know, as a man, as a husband, you need to make sure she feels safe and that you're in it with her, Like, don't make her feel insecure because she's insecure too.
Yeah. So open up and tell her everything, but also don't let her know that you're feeling insecure. So that
I think it's like, I think the thing is Maddie was just trying to be like honest, like, yes, I am feeling like sad and I miss my family. And then she's taking that as, oh, you're going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
No, two things can be true. I can be very happy to be here with you, but I could also miss my family.
Yeah.
You know? And so in the talking head, she goes, I'm starting to question if he's 100% and I have to know he's 100%. And then I have to question, like, maybe it's me. Maybe this is not something I really want to do.
Oh, whatever. You should have thought about that earlier.
That's right, ma'am. You should have thought about the consequences of your actions.
You guys are cute together. You're fine. You're just having anxiety.
And by the way, she wouldn't tell me on mic or off mic if they get married. And I didn't like that. I like to get a little inside scoop, and she was not giving it up.
Well, she posts lovey-dovey photos of them. So
I said, well, it seems like you're always posting that he's around. And she was like, I don't know.
Good. She's taking that NDA very seriously.
Yeah, she's not breaking that NDA for anything.
She's like, we want to be back for happily ever after.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So the next day or whenever, 10 days later, unclear, he is going to go with her dad, Perry, to a monster truck show. And she's like, do you even know what this is? And he's like, no, I don't know anything.
She asked him if he's ever been to one. I was like, no.
When? Yeah.
When do you think he has been to one?
I'm from Mississippi and I've never been to a monster truck show. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like, do you even know what it is? Like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be really loud. He's like, no, I have no idea what this is. So as they walk out, Maddie goes, hey, Dad. Now, I didn't think he was doing it to be like, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. I think he was just like, she said, hey, Dad. And he's like, hey, Dad, like as a joke. But Perry was like, yeah, like hearing somebody call you dad that you don't know good is a little strange. Like, I was trying to go through my past. I got any Iranian women in my past? He's calling me dad. I don't remember. Okay.
That was a word salad from really Perry.
Perry got real uncomfortable with that. And I don't know anybody in the South that does that calls their in-laws mom and dad. I've never known anybody to do that ever. What
do they call them? By their first name or Mrs.?
Yeah, it was fun. I called Dave's parents by their first name, Charles and Mary Carroll. But she told me when we got engaged, like she told me, I want you to call me Mary Carroll. Like she was like, I want to like get it out of the way so it's not weird. And I appreciated that with his mom. And with my mom, of course, when our family, we're Southern, we don't talk about anything. We bury it all down. And so he didn't know what to call my mom. I go, I don't know. Just call her Elizabeth. That's her name. He's like, I can't do that. That's weird. She hasn't told me. I don't know. So all the grandkids call my mom Bobby. So he just calls her Bobby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And both of the other sons-in-law go between Bobby and Elizabeth. Yeah. So I don't know. I think he called her Mrs. Kosser when we were first dating. But you guys let me know. So please, like, seriously, DM me and let me know. Is that a thing in other places? If you get married to somebody, do you then call your in-laws mom and dad?
Yeah, I think it's family by family.
You do? You don't think it's like...
And I don't think it would happen right away either. I think it would happen slowly. And I think it's more likely to happen if the person doesn't have a close relationship with their own parents.
I'm trying to remember. I think was it in Father of the Bride when the son-in-law kept calling him dad and he was so annoyed by it? Yeah, I think that's the movie it was. It's like Steve Martin going, oh, like, don't touch me. I'm not your dad.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's just so good. That's a great movie. And the Father of the Bride 2 is also a great movie.
Great movie. They're so good. I've watched those. I used to watch those like every week growing up.
They hold up. Okay. So... Two monster truck show, back to Perry. Sorry, okay. So in the talking head, Monty says, I'm going to repropose to Stevie and I need to get the blessing from Perry. It's the same in Iran. You ask for the father's blessing before you marry the daughter. So I want to do this like the proper way, which I think is great. So then they go into the monster truck show, which looks like at the local conference center or whatever. They got the whole thing covered with dirt and all that. And they've got the ramps. And he says, wow, this is the most American place. There are hot dogs and American flags, and I don't think I fit in here. It's like another world. And it's funny because it's comical. It's like, can you hear okay? Huh? Do you have your ears? What? Are your ears okay? Huh? Yeah. It's funny. And then they sing the greatest song ever written for the greatest nation in the world, the national anthem. And that's how they described it.
I died.
They did. And so they all stand up. And so, Maddie just stands up and kind of looks around because he doesn't know what to do. And then at the end, he goes, I just felt like maybe this was a song that was very popular in the United States and everybody knew it. Like California by Katy Perry. Like, I just didn't know what
Is
this
it
song
Party
was.
Party in the USA by
USA?
Miley Cyrus?
Was it Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood? I didn't know I thought it was going to be Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood. I really did. But anyway, then Perry has to explain it to him. No, it's like our national song. And he's like, oh, I've only ever heard that like if American team came to play in the Iran, but I never
Of course
on TV. Like, why would you hear? It's not like I would know the Swedish national anthem.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're watching the monster trucks and the talking head, Maddie goes, I don't know. I was expecting more. Like I thought they would jump higher or go longer. I don't know. I guess I would watch something like this if I was in my 60s. I don't know. I was like, no, I mean,
they don't go as, and maybe it's just at this one, but it did seem like
it's a small arena.
It's a small arena and they were going over like one car. So it didn't seem like that crazy or anything. It didn't seem like.
No, they weren't even going over cars. They were jumping over like
a ramp.
Yeah,
so
like a ramp.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were flying through the air, Evil Knievel or something.
No, and then they had to immediately slam on their brakes because they're next to a wall.
Yeah.
And so they walk outside and Maddie tells them, look, I, appreciate you bringing me here. Like, I don't have anything to do. I don't have any friends. And so that means a lot to me that you would take me. And he says, but I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to re-propose to Stevie really soon. And I want your permission. I want your blessing. And I've got her this ring from Iran. He shows her the ring. And Dad says, what's the time frame on this marriage? Like, how many days have you spent together actually? And he goes, well,
I thought he was asking when do you have to get married by? Which drives me crazy on this show. Like, it's 90 days. It's the name of the show.
I think he's wondering, like, what day are we on?
Right. Yeah. No, it's a valid question. I don't know why I got so annoyed.
And he goes, and how many days have you spent together in total? And he says, well, we spent that week together in Turkey. And then we've now been together a couple of weeks in the United States. And Dad goes, that's not a lot of time. I love how they have the dad, the captions under the dad, because his accent is so thick. Now, I was looking down.
When an American needs captions.
Yes. Yeah. I was looking down, taking notes. I didn't need captions. I speak country. So
did you notice that Maddie said, or Maddie, whatever, sorry, she says Maddie, I'm fixin' to ask Stevie to marry me.
Did he say that?
He said fixin', which is what Stevie always says. I thought it was very cute. It's like he's trying to incorporate himself into the language and use the local vernacular. I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't know that.
I am fixing to marry your daughter.
Yeah.
He's very formal, like the way he speaks. It was adorable.
It's cute. I mean, I say that still. I mean, it's just in me. I can't get out of that. I can't.
I've never said it in normal conversation.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm fixing to go to the store and then I'm going to do this and then I'll be home. Yeah, I wonder if my kids say it. I don't even know. Okay, so they've been a week in Turkey, 2 weeks in the U.S. Dad says, not a lot of time. And Stevie says, and he says, not a lot of time. And Stevie says, maybe you were having second thoughts. Maddie goes, it was just
told that.
I know. She told everybody. She told everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Maddie goes, it was just a random thought that I have. I just let her know, like, wow, I can't believe I already missed my family. And then I just said, like, if I ever did return to Iran, I wouldn't be able to come back to the U.S. That's what I said. And Dad says, I know, but sometimes like times get hard, marriage is hard. You can't just back out. And Maddie goes, I know that there's no going back to Iran. I can't go back. And I love her and she loves me. I promise you I'll take good care of her forever. And Dad goes, well, seems like your heart's in the right place. And I just want to be sure she's in the right hands because, I'm sick and I won't be here forever. And Maddie says, I know. And he says, you got to be good to her, but I'm going to keep my eyes on you. And they hug and it seems fine. And then talking head, Dad says, look, I need to know if Maddie's all in. And when Maddie asked for the blessing, I thought that was thoughtful of him. And it made me feel good about him that he would do something like that. And I assume he's planning on staying. But if it's going to be different, I'm not going to walk her down the aisle. Mm-hmm. And
she's going to have to wear one of those jihads.
Stop. She did say on the interview that he was corrected a couple of times, but that they just didn't put that on camera.
They didn't put it on camera.
Yeah. And the talking head, Maddie says, I understand that Perry is hesitant, but I'm not having second thoughts. I'm not going back to Iran. I realize now I could have worded it differently when I said I was concerned.
Yeah, but that one time shouldn't be keep thrown back in his face. Like,
I know. I agree. I think he should just like say to her flat out, I know that I said that, but I was just telling you what I was thinking at that moment. Like, I can't believe I already missed them so bad. It's been one day. Also, poor kid is jet lagged to hell.
Yeah.
All right, let's move it on to Sean and Aaliyah. And this is our last couple. And in the car, they're driving and she has on this really cute outfit. And he goes, you look like Clueless today. You know that movie? And she goes, no, I don't know this. And he goes, we're going to watch it. Well, we have to finish watching The Way We Were with Barbara Streisand. It's so funny. We have to finish watching it like they started. And she's like, she's like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. I thought she was going for Clueless on purpose.
Oh, like she didn't know.
She didn't know. She just had that vibe. She looked
cute.
like Cher from Clueless.
So she's meeting with her friend Jackie. Now, Jackie is the one, like you said, that we met before who came to Brazil. And we got the story of how they met. It's just that she was at a table one time next to them. And Sean was like, oh, you speak English. Like, this is my girlfriend, Aaliyah. And they just became friends that way. Like, it was Sean really that, wasn't. So, so she's meeting up with Jackie, and we're reminded that he's not like a giant fan of Jackie because at that time she mentioned the prenup. And he was like, let's don't plan for my early demise when we got engaged yesterday, So the talking head, Jackie says, I've known Sean and Aaliyah for 3 years. I'm a bit worried about her here in LA now. And now that the clock is ticking, and Aaliyah is telling her, she says, oh, the house is very big. It's very old and it looks like a castle. It's very dark. And then Jackie asked her about their sex life, how that's going, because as you do in the flower shop, asking your friend about their sex life. And she goes, yeah, it's working. It's in time. And then she goes, actually, it's in my time. Like, meaning like she wasn't comfortable right away. And then Jackie goes, well, how long was it till you had sex? I was like, this is so weird.
My God. How many times did you orgasm, Jackie?
I mean, yes.
In the last month? Tell us details.
And she goes, well, it was about 4 to 5 days after I arrived. And Jackie goes, well, that's good because that's better than, I think the last time in Brazil, like they didn't have sex the whole time or just one time before he left or whatever. And her talking head, Aaliyah says, our sex life is different because I'm different. And so we're learning new things about each other and it's okay. And she says, I do worry in the future as I change, he'll miss dating men's. And I'm not sure how much more of this change he can handle. And so she's seeing it through his eyes as he's trying to see it through her. So that's good. So she says, yeah, I feel good. I feel confident and I feel comfortable. But some days I look in the mirror and then I don't feel complete. And Jackie goes, well, what are you thinking? And she goes, I want boobs. And she goes, okay, are you talking like big boobs or you want like regular? And she goes, I think just like regular. Like I don't like too big. And I thought it was kind of funny. And she goes, but I haven't told Sean about this. And I think when I do talk about this, I think he avoids the conversations. And no, I don't think he would ever say, no, you can't do that. Like that's a step too far. But I do worry that I think he worries I'm going too hard, like too fast, like I'm trying to change too much. And then Jackie says, do you think he's less sexually attracted to you if you're like full glamful Aaliyah? I was like, what a question. And that kind of hurts her feelings, you can tell, because she kind of tears up.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't know. So in the talking head, Jackie says, I can tell that she's a little bit stressed being here. And, if it doesn't work out, I mean, Aaliyah will just be all alone here in a new country. I was like, well, she has you. What are you talking about?
Does she live there?
I don't know where she lives. She didn't say, oh, I just flew in or my hotel's down the street.
They said she's going to be like the maid of honor or something.
Yeah, because he made a joke that her maid of honor dress should be red because she's out for blood.
Oh, yeah. Sean, those dad jokes are
so funny. So she comes in the kitchen. This is that night or whatever, because he says something to Jackie, like, are you coming later to like the House of Horrors? I don't know what he made a joke to like it being an old castle. So she comes in the kitchen. He's making a bouquet with all the flowers that they got. And she goes, are you making the bouquet? And he goes, yes, I'm making the bouquet. And she's like, okay, the bouquet. So she walks out and Jackie comes in and she's like, I'm going to show you the house now. Here is the dress from Brow Bar from Brow Bar dress. And he's like, oh my God, Brow Bar, Buki. You got to get her to pronounce things. So I was like, I think it's cute. I would never even correct her. I think it's cute.
I think, let her talk the way she wants. It's charming.
I love the way she pronounces things. And so Jackie's like, actually, I think this house is really beautiful. Like, I dig it. And Leah goes, how do you feel about those monkey lamps? She's like, okay, well, maybe not those, but it's fine. She likes it. She thinks it's eccentric.
She liked it.
Yeah. They're talking to Jackie goes, I like the house. I mean, I would change a few things, of course, but I understand Aaliyah probably doesn't want to get there and immediately start changing things, but she could ask for some things to be changed. And that house is currently for rent, so maybe they're in a different place.
I just wish he would offer, to change some things for her.
I think, well, yeah, but it's been like 3 days. So Jackie says, all right, so tell me about the wedding. What are you planning? And Sean goes, I don't know. Like, we haven't talked about it. And he goes, my dream scenario, of course, would be just to live together and get to know each other now because everything is transitioning and, put the K1 off because our relationship keeps changing. And the K1 was the only way. She tried to come in on the student visa. She tried to come in on a regular visa. The K1 was the only way. And she goes, oh, well, okay. And she says, well, what do your kids think when you talk about the wedding? And he goes, they don't really know. Well, they don't know at all, actually. And he goes, well, she's like, what? Well, what's their opinion going to be? And he goes, their opinion of Aaliyah won't be negative. They will love Aaliyah, of course. It's more like, what if it goes awry? Like, what if I'm a failure at this? Like, what if, obviously, what if they don't get married? What if it doesn't work out? And the talking head, Aaliyah says again, like she said several times, I wonder if he's ashamed of me because he hasn't told, his family. He's got to get his family over there.
Yeah, they've met multiple friends now, but not the family.
And he knows the mom.
Yeah.
No, she knows the mom. Aaliyah knows the mom.
Yeah, she knows his mom.
His mom, right. So, but we haven't
seen her mom seems happy.
I know. Her mom is so sweet.
Is so supportive of her going to America.
Yeah. Yeah. So the talking head Jackie says, him saying he's basically getting married out of necessity and not desire, that's got to be hard to hear. And, I think Sean saying that comes out of fear because he doesn't know exactly who he's marrying at this point because he fell in love with Douglas and now we have Aaliyah. And I think he doesn't know what the next step will be that Aaliyah wants to take. And so that I can understand that that's what he's worried about, but it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Actually, what she says, I hope it's not a recipe for disaster, but what she's saying is it is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
We don't get Jessica and Juan this week, but what we get is...
Okay, wait. I do have to say, thank you, Reddit. I missed when Megan, they are our other throuple, basically, Juan and Jessica and Megan. Megan took, while they were at that bar, when she got those giant margaritas or whatever, she took gum out of her mouth and stuck it under the bar.
Yeah, people were upset about that.
Megan. They already don't like you because you're acting like you were cheated on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I did see that on Reddit or Facebook or something.
I missed, I totally missed it.
That grosses me out.
That? An adult.
That grosses me out
and
so bad.
She's in the mental health field. She's like a therapist or something.
Yeah.
Girl.
They don't know. Therapists heal thyself.
Yes.
Still to come this season on, we get a ton of quick flashes that I could not write them all down, but we see wedding dresses on Mina, Stevie, and Jessica. And when Stevie comes out in hers, Maddie says the dress makes you look old, which is not
Maddie.
Nice. Sarper goes missing. Nobody believes that. But we're Blair Witch style camera running to look for Sarper. Juan
He's gonna find what's his name in the Nicole and Mahmoud. They're in LA just wandering the streets with their luggage.
It'll be like, excuse me, guys, we did not find Sarper, but we have found Mahmoud. Sorry.
And they'll be like, who? Remember the girl with the unflattering blonde bob and the guy from Egypt or wherever?
We weren't looking for him, but here he is, still wearing a leather coat. So looks like Juan and Jessica have their bachelor and bachelorette parties because they're laying in the bed that night together, and she's got a sash on and like red lipstick kisses all over, and he's got red lipstick kisses all over his face. And we see him getting a lap dance and really motorboating somebody.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And of course he says,
I didn't know that there was that to do in that small town.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he says, in his talking head, he goes, I don't know if I'm ready to leave the boat life and go to this dad life, but I think it's like a clip from another episode. Mina hears that her son can't come and starts crying.
Oh my God. Like permanently?
She said they say he can't be there for the wedding, and she starts crying and says, I can't do the wedding.
Oh God.
We don't know if it's a trick.
Amani Jordan did something to that paperwork.
No, she didn't. Amani and Matt meet with some guy that they say whenever they have sent Ani money, they have to pay this guy. So they want to know why. And then this other guy comes who I guess is a private investigator, or maybe he's the guy that they send money to, but it seems like he's a private investigator. And because he speaks American English. I mean, there's no accent. And he says, the girl that you think his name is Annie, because it's A-N-Y, Annie, is really a woman named Brenda. And then she comes up to meet them for dinner. And as she walks up, Matt is smirking as per usual. And Amani, with another smirk on her face, says, hi, Brenda. And she kind of steps back.
Yeah.
Like shocked. Like it's all, it's telenovela, man. It's fake. It's all fake. It's fake. It's all fake. I'm so mad about the whole thing. Mad.
Do people still want us to cover them because it's not good for Mary Payne's blood pressure? And that white little spot on her brain might be growing as we speak.
I'm covering them as little as possible. I'm like taking the least amount of notes that I could. The least amount of notes. Other people deserve my note taking. That is it. You guys, Katie and Kimberly are over there working so much work. They're working hard, and you're covering Dateline.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing
not that much work.
Well, you're doing rewind episodes over there on your Patreon Supercast.
I just post episodes with no ads. It's fine.
And okay, well, don't downplay yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own Prince Charming. Lift yourself up.
You're right.
Yeah. Next week, you're going to be doing 2 extra episodes. Not next week, the week after. So, because you're going to be in charge of doing my 90-day episode and my Love After Lockup episode. You're in charge to get with Keisha and Matt to do those episodes.
I'm so ready.
Okay. All right. So you're taking on extra work.
I love added responsibility.
Added responsibility, and they love to talk shit about me while I'm gone. So,
oh yeah, Maddie can do an impression of you.
I don't like it.
Ginger,
I don't like it.
Alice, stop barking! I got to put my Hello Lash on. I got construction workers pooping in my bathroom again.
He sends me, he loves to do like video messages instead of like a voice message or just a typed message. He'll send you like a video of himself talking. He's like, girl, look at my lashes. That Hello Lash is working. Oh my God, I got to get some more. Use code PinkShade20. But he's like, I may have to stop using it. My lashes are so long. They're touching my eyebrows. It's true.
It's really good.
I got him some more. Also, this week, Wednesday will be The Valley. I'm just going to be covering The Valley with Keisha on Wednesday. That is on $10 Prime, Patreon, Supercast, Apple subscriptions, wherever you get your extra episodes. Soon to be extra episodes on Substack at some point. We're going to be doing that.
Oh, I don't even understand what that is.
Yeah, not this week. Not this week. Too much going on. But there's 7 episodes out this week. I'm doing 7 episodes this week. So
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I have an extra bonus episode with Larison Campbell, my friend, who's a podcaster this week. She has a new podcast out called Under the Yazoo Clay, which is about the University of Mississippi Medical Center. They were going to put up another wing. And when they went to dig up the ground, they found 7,000 graves.
What?
It was the site of the former Mississippi Lunatic Asylum. Which is what they called it, back in the day, the lunatic asylum. Then they moved it. And so when they went to dig up this part, the only part that's left of the medical center that you could build a building on, they had to stop the excavation And then now it's been a several-year project to identify all these people that are buried there and then move them to a burial spot. Yeah.
Wow.
But because it's called under the Yazoo clay, because the kind of clay that is Mississippi is built on, the roads are really bumpy and everything because it just moves a lot. I told her it reminds me of whatever's happening in Yellow Jackets where the soil's all red. And it literally has eaten all the bones. It's eaten the caskets, eaten the bones, eaten the clothes. So all that's left is
eating the cats. It's eating the dogs.
It's eating the cats. The bones, the dogs, it's eating everything. So they don't have a lot to go on for a lot of these plots.
Oh my God.
Clay has eaten it all. Yeah. It's very interesting. So I'm talking to her about that. She gave me an update on her other podcast, Devil in the Ditch, where she thinks her cousin killed her grandmother. That was a good podcast too.
Wow.
And another one, Dr. Miracle, which was about like this cult where people were going in and he was saying he was going to cure them with something. And then they were all like turning blue and then dying.
Oh my God.
She's done some really good podcasts. So anyway, she's very interesting, very funny. I like her a lot. She's fun to talk to. That's on Friday. That'll be a short listen, 35 minutes maybe. In addition to 90 Day Last Resort, I just mentioned The Valley, Love After Lockup, and a Pop and Bravo this week with my friend Mandy Slutsker. That'll be fun.
That's great.
And I'm going to see the Grateful Dead on Thursday. I'll be there for 3 shows in Vegas. If you see me, come say hi.
I just remembered I woke up, we had an earthquake this morning.
We
were talking about the clay. When you were talking about the clay shifting, I was like, wait, shifting. That's maybe one of the reasons I'm so tired.
It wasn't a big one, obviously. You don't get like big ones there in OC as much as they do in LA, right?
It was 5.2.
What? Girl.
And
it woke you up.
Yeah. It was in San Diego, which is very close to me.
Got to check on Kimberly in San Diego.
Causing rock closures and rock falls.
What are rock closures? When you close up the rocks, what does that mean?
Like the roads are closed because big rocks have tumbled down from the mountains onto the roads.
I hope nobody was hurt.
Boulders. Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that. But then again, I don't watch the news. It's bad for my mental health. That and the throuple. Bad for my mental health. Can't even say it. Okay. Everybody, make sure to listen to our recap of the Baldwins. That will be on the $10 level of Pink Shade Prime and the Valley. That'll be another thing over there. And on the $5 level of Pink Shade Prime is 90 Day The Last Resort. We're on 3 of 5, 4 of, I don't know. It's a 1,000,000-part tell-all. And that's what we're doing. And if you see me in Vegas this week, come say hello. Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.